Oh, that is so cheesy. I'm trying to get used to it. Welcome everybody. This is They Talk Funny, where I get the pleasure of talking with some fantastically funny people, such as our special guests who are here right now, the El-Salomons, better known as Eman El-Husseini and Jess Salomon. Normally they're based out of New York, but they are currently living in exile in Canada while everything is happening. So welcome to the studio. They Talk Funny. How are you doing?
Hey, Paul. We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm actually one of those people that have taken the time in quarantine to go hold it. There's things I wanted to do, so I'm doing them, and this is one. I get to talk to comedians about comedies.
I thought you were going to mention the mustache. I'm loving the mustache.
Oh wow, the mustache is a bit old.
It's not a quarantine thing.
It's not a quarantine thing. I wish I could grow my beard back. I had a beard for a little while as well. You guys have been out of Montreal for.
You haven't kept up with your facial hair. You have to fill us in.
The problem is I had trouble filling the beard in. That was.
Is it the connectors? I hear that's like usually the hard part. I feel like.
It did sort of connect. I had more of a chin strap going on because as big as my cheeks are, they don't apparently have a lot of follicles, so I didn't get a lot of hair up there. As of today, I'm 51 years old and I can't grow facial hair.
Is it your birthday today?
What?
Yeah.
Birthday, Paul?
Holy mo! 51?
Yeah.
Wow, you look great.
I'm also surprised by the age, but I was more taken with the fact that it was your birthday, and I also didn't know that.
It's all good, but this show is about the two of you and what you've been doing.
So we want to make it about your mustache.
The mustache. All right, because I do jokes about it because my main income, as much as I love comedy, my main income has been acting, and I've been playing some very creepy people, and I like to blame the mustache. So I hopefully I'm not a creepy person, but the mustache has given me a bunch of work. So
I feel like I saw a shot of you once in an acting role. It was like a photo of you on set, dressed up, and it wasn't Anne of Green Gables, but like kind of pioneer, old timey style.
There's been a number. I've been doing a lot of 70s stuff, but I think probably the oldest was a very long time ago. I was on the American version of Being Human, and I was playing an American and a revolutionary soldier.
This is what I remember.
Yeah.
This is the last time the algorithm showed me what you were up to.
Anything on my face. Yeah, that's how it goes. But if also we've got a couple people watching at this point. If you want to ask any of your questions of the El-Salomons, you can put them into chat. Putting them into chat allows me to put it up here like this. So if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, we can put those questions up here. So the El-Salomons can answer your questions as well. Okay. Yeah, so it's been a long time that since our algorithms have matched. I think my last time in New York, or might have been the time before, I actually ran into Eman. It wasn't at the Cellar; it was the club a couple doors down.
The Village Underground,
or the Village
Pear, maybe?
Or the Grizzly Pear. I can't. Or what else is there? The Lantern. Or
it's on the same block, and it's just like a couple doors down. I think Grizzly Pear might be it.
Yeah, it's right there.
But yeah, we ran into each other for just a brief second.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while. I mean, you two started doing comedy here in Montreal, and both of you have done the work. And you Eman has done the work and has got the
green card.
Yeah, the green card, the alien of extraordinary talents, extraordinary skills. What's the
alien of extraordinary ability?
abilities?
I
Abilities.
know that because she makes me call her that by
Right.
by that title every day.
So she's an X-Men, and you have traveled along. You're her Moria McTaggart. I'm just trying to do the geek references to keep on brand for myself.
We gotta keep the geeks tuned in because we don't have any of those references. So I know you do the Comic-Con stuff. Can I just ask you? Can you hear our dog in the background? Because I'll go get her.
I'm just hearing a couple little squeaks, and it's fine. I'm just hoping you don't hear my. Oh, that was the bird.
No, she sounds like a bird because she's 7 pounds, but that's her full bark. But it sounds like a bird chirping.
If it's not bothering you,
we can leave it, but I can also go get her.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
It's Esther. Esther
El-Husseini.
Yeah. You sound so happy.
The Muslim last name would be okay because she's a dog, so she wouldn't have too much trouble.
Right. I'm not making a body hair reference at all. That's
he's as hairy as the Arab mother. That's for sure.
It's also grooming has been not happening for a while, and now they're just opening it up. And actually, we have our grooming appointment on Sunday.
We're so excited.
She's like 70% hair. This dog, and if you'll remember Sherry from the comedy work, she works at this grooming spot, and I begged her for like a little bump up on the list is very long right now for all the hair related, human and dog. Yeah, as they open it up.
I know. I've been trying to watch as much early 1970s TVs and movies just to make me feel better about my hair. So it's
no, but it looks great. I mean, you don't even have to be wearing a hat like that. I don't even want to see what I did to Eman's hair, but you see it's red.
Oh, wow!
Get the root.
It's very cool. I'm gonna just blow that up so everyone can see a little bit better.
Guys, this is what happens when you dye black hair roots with
red dye.
With red dye.
It's like a CSI thing, and they find that like they see the glow in the dark like semen and stuff.
What?
You know what I'm trying to say?
No.
You know how they see like the DNA of criminals? What is it called? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You're talking about using the luminol to highlight bodily fluids,
right?
Which is what you never want to do in a hotel room.
In a room, but I'm just saying it looks like you did it to my hair.
All right, and Claudio Capri, who's a young comic in Montreal, says it looks awesome. And Carl Pace is here. Oh, he's wishing me a happy birthday.
Get a do-rag.
Yeah, he's telling me to get a do-rag. So it's I know the fingers are a bit. Carl lives in the States. He actually contracted COVID-19. Had to go through quarantine away from his family and his little girl. But he has been clear now for a couple weeks. So kudos to Carl on that. But okay, the main reason about this is comedy, to talk about comedy and comedy writing. Let's kind of rewind a little bit. I mean, your guys' love story is on Crave. So yeah, for anyone, it's hard to find on Crave. I couldn't search by the El-Salomons. I had to actually search by Marriage of Convenience.
Oh, really? Good to know.
Yeah. So luckily I knew the subtitle of the show. So yeah, Marriage of Convenience. It was great. It was filmed here in Montreal with the assistance of Just for Laughs. And it gives the history of your relationship in a very funny way. So and hopefully you sparked another one at the same time during the show. So anyone you were very respectful to the two people in the audience. So
yeah,
congrats.
for people that don't know, if you're in Canada, you can watch our special on Crave. It's called Marriage of Convenience, and if you don't have Crave, like the first month is free, so you could just get it, watch our special, and then unsubscribe if you need to. But the whole thing is that you'll see during the special we try to
play
set
matchmaker. Yes.
But, it goes awry. And we didn't mean to do a gotcha. We asked people how they identify, and this woman said that she was queer, and yet, somehow didn't realize that there were
cameras all over the place. I mean, as somebody who's been in the closet more recently than you,
Yeah.
who sits in a front row of a comedy show when you're in the closet?
So she volunteered that she was queer, and then she regretted it towards the end.
So she almost ruined our special.
She almost ruined our special. We had to fight a lot to
a
keep
Palestinian woman too. It's so bad. I was so embarrassed.
Thank you, Claudio.
Thank you, Claudio.
Anyway, we hide their identities, which is completely not the point. The point is to try to set up ideally a Muslim and a Jew, and we actually happen to get that.
And not just a Muslim, a Palestinian and a Jew. I
Palestinian.
mean, you can't get better than that. And she shit on my dreams.
We hate her.
We really hate her.
I don't. It's so you know, like, you know how hard it is to get to a place where you're filming a special. We
almost got a divorce.
You have one taping already. Like, we were not getting along. You know, it's a lot of stress to put on a marriage already. And it's going well, and you're like very much close to the end of it. And then this person who just volunteered information they didn't need to volunteer says they're not out. And then they sign all the legal release papers, and then they cause a huge behind the scenes email shitstorm, make everybody very nervous, the network, everybody.
I mean, she's very lucky we're in Canada and we have a conscience. And if this would have happened in the States, they would have aired it, no problem.
I don't know. People, you know, everybody gets nervous. Nobody wanted to, but it was like a 15-minute chunk of our special that, you know, and the idea that hiding people's identity is completely the antithesis of what we're trying to do when we're trying to set up people from different backgrounds. And, you know, but
okay, we'll get
Paul,
over it.
You know what? You just reminded me that I have a vendetta. No, it's you know, we never really went further with it, but I will say that I hope she stays in the closet forever.
Imagine she's out right now.
I would just yeah. I mean, it's people. Nobody wants to come out. It should be on your own.
I didn't want to.
No, but you know, but also this was like, she's the one who said it. It wasn't like we were trying to trick her. Anyway, but please watch the special and you'll see what we're talking about. It's yeah. There's unexpected drama and improvisation, and I was able to throw Crave under the bus, and they were very good sports because they kept that joke in. So yeah, go watch it.
Yeah. So, all right. So that is on Crave in Canada. And search by, if you have difficulty finding, search by Marriage of Convenience. Actually, when I did Marriage, it came up fairly quickly. So that was enough. So it's not like they're hiding it or burying it. It's definitely, it's there. You also have, okay. No, I want to start at the beginning a little bit as well. Now, Jess, you actually were a lawyer and then transitioned into comedy.
Yeah.
Um,
and Eman, I don't know exactly how your previous jobs may have.
Yeah, I went to university. I was studying political science. My parents gave up on the dream of me pursuing medicine, so they settled for Prime Minister of Canada. But I dropped out of university to pursue comedy. Big mistake. and yes, I started bartending at the Works. Oh my God, like what, 15 years ago. And then it took me about 1.5 years to build the courage to finally go on stage. Unlike this one, Esther had no problem going on stage. But yeah, and I've been doing stand-up comedy ever since. So, oh my God, 14 years? Has it been 14 years?
I don't think so.
In the fall, it'll be 13? No, I think it'll be 14 in the fall.
I think 13.
13.
You definitely sound like a married couple.
Yeah.
Now, where were your influences?
For
like for starting stand-up.
Oh
like I know it usually evolves as you develop, but originally, who were the people that sort of inspired you to try?
You know what? Before realizing that I could actually do stand-up, I would go to Blockbuster and rent all of the stand-up specials that were available. And I don't know if I'm influenced per se by anybody specifically, but I do love Joy Behar, Wanda Sykes, Larry.
Which explains the accent.
I mean, like comedic actors too really influenced me. I love sitcoms. Huge fan of Will and Grace. So many. And I mean, back then I really liked Louis C.K. and Bill Cosby and all of those people that we can't talk about anymore.
Claudia was asking if you were based in the States or Canada. You're currently in Canada, but you are based out of Brooklyn?
Yeah, that's where we normally are.
Uh,
We're planning to go back, Paul. I'm not. We'll see.
I mean, she's planning to go back if he gets reelected.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what'll happen in November. Honestly, I don't know if we could do 4 more years of Trump. I mean, I don't know if anybody could do 4 more years of Trump, but we'll see what happens. We're definitely concerned. To put it, like everybody.
As I think everybody is right now, and I think what we're going to see in the next couple weeks is going to be hugely determined to how anybody wants to go to the U.S. in the future. We are all right. This is we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I think it's kind of happening organically. Normally, I do ask for donations to keep the channel going, but if you have the chance, don't send me any money. Send it to donate in the name of George Floyd to any of the bail funds. Black Lives Matter in Toronto still has their donate page up. I haven't been able to find, and I've looked for the Black Lives Matter Montreal. They don't seem to have a donate page up, and their YouTube their Facebook fan page doesn't have a lot of current information. So please check it out. I might be, because I filter by English because I'm an idiot living in Montreal. But please make sure that financially put your words where they matter. That was awkward. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's not as awkward as I don't know if you saw Ashton Kutcher. He put up a video. I mean, his heart, I guess, was in the right place, but oh my God, his version of the explanation of how people could understand why saying all lives matter in this moment isn't the right way to go. And anyway, it's
really funny. You should watch it.
It's really bad and very, I mean, so if you want to feel better about
this was an awkward. It's actually so well done. I love the whole
this is a great
going
platform.
At the bottom, and
we're very impressed with the mustache and the technology of this
totally.
show.
I have to. I'm going to blame one of the impetuses of doing that is the fact that there's a company that produces software that doesn't tax the computer, and they're called StreamYard, and they're just basically making it easy for anybody to stream from their households. You can even do it on like a Chromebook or a Mac Air. It's pretty light technology wise. So, and that's kind of what got me off my butt. Thank you very much, Claudia, for calling me awkward.
I like it because Zoom is, kind of an evil company. So it's nice to know that there's another option.
It's StreamYard. You can search for them. There's tutorials on YouTube before you even take a look. There is a free version, which I've actually paid for the more advanced version which allows me to, as you look above you, put in the little custom graphics that I designed myself.
They're great.
And all that. So, there is. Okay. Well, now, so those were Eman's influences. What about Jess?
Also love Wanda Sykes. I'd say, okay. I would add, I was a big fan of Seinfeld, Ellen DeGeneres. I did Carlin, Richard Pryor, I guess were sort of the people early on. Also probably Cosby. Well, I mean,
sorry. You're both so young compared to me.
I like to make those age jokes with Jess because she's 4 years older than me, but everybody thinks I'm older. So it's such a waste.
Just because I'm more smiley. And
I'm smiley.
You seem more tough, so that makes you see. And also, you started comedy before me.
I was in
that's
Florida
probably-
with Jess. Jess's mother lives in Florida. I was in Florida with Jess and her sister. We went out to dinner, and I was losing patience in the restaurant, so I went outside while they got a table. And when the maitre d' was like, "You have a table, you could tell your mother to come back in."
I mean, that's like actually insane, but
Your mother. I'm younger
they
than both
obviously-
of them.
I think they didn't see you. They just thought you're like impatience and attitude, and they're like, that looks like a mom.
Yeah.
But there's obviously, I mean, we don't look related.
I've been mistaken for the wrong age, and luckily the two major relationships I've had in the past little while have been with age appropriate women who've disliked somewhat that I might look younger than I am.
So young. I can't get over your age today.
Good skin, especially for a white
Good-
guy and a
good
redhead.
genes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope to have grown into like a silver fox, but I'm more of a copper capybara. So it's all me, the chubby rodent. We're all right. But when it comes to writing, were your guys' style different when you started? Have you picked up tips from each other? Or...
Yes, you ruined my self-esteem. I used to be so confident. I was like killing it the first 5 years before her and I got close and became a couple.
You do have the ability to really sell a bad joke.
Well, that's what she told me. She's like, you really, what was it? You bomb with confidence.
I mean, that's a lot of comedy. I mean, having stage presence and, walking back and forth.
You know what?
Get ready for this. And it's,
You did tell me that when I did Just for Laughs.
The Kevin Hart LOL, the first year of it.
I did JFL. I got my first gala in 2017. And the gala was so much fun. Jane Karkowski, so good. And I also got to tape Kevin Hart's LOL thing. Mm-hmm. But I had to save my material.
Yeah, because you had Halifax
divided it up.
Also. She didn't have as much. Yeah, your best jokes. And no one really knew if this LOL Kevin Hart thing was gonna go anywhere.
So I just basically took all of my jokes that wouldn't go on TV on CBC. And did them. So a very dirty joke and a lot of tense.
It just wasn't your age.
Yeah.
It wasn't your age stuff, but you got on that. She got on that stage for this TV tape. I mean, and you just. It was like you were hosting the Oscars.
Right. I had a lot of confidence and they aired it.
You put on a great outfit.
I looked really good.
You had that. She had this long sweater, the back of which is like a tiger. And you felt great.
I felt great.
If you feel good about how you look, that's like 50% of it with you.
It's very important for me. Yeah. It's true. My outfit was great. My makeup, killer. The whole thing. I felt really confident. Anyway, they finally aired it maybe 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, shit, they didn't mic the audience. She's like, no, they mic the audience. That's not a problem.
Did I say that? How would I know that?
Somebody else.
I don't know. It sounds like something I would say, but I wouldn't know that. I work for the LOL network. Anyway, I called up Kevin Hart and he told me,
Yeah, I'm suspicious.
Different styles.
Completely different. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we definitely, the initial attraction to each other was not comedy.
We didn't care about each other's comedy.
Yeah. I wasn't turned off by your comedy, but it wasn't a factor of that. I was like, ooh, she's so funny. Because I've joked about this before, but there's a comedian that I started with, Guido Cocomello, as you know, Guido.
Yes.
And we both started. We were in Joey Elias's first comedy class, and I think he was in it too. Yeah, and we would do open mics also while the class was as we were doing the class outside of the class. And he was so cute. He's such a good looking guy. But of course, everybody's bad at the beginning of stand-up, but he did this particular thing where he'd get on stage and he'd be like, hey, ladies, let me hear you say, hi, Guido, And I was like, every time I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so attractive. But when he starts doing that, I'm like finished. I should say that I like do identify as bisexual, and at this point in time, I was like semi-single. Anyway, so like a couple of years later, we were chatting, and I was like, "Oh my God, Guido!" Like, if I really don't find someone funny, I like cannot be attracted to them if they're like a comedian. And anyway, so I was like, I really thought you were so cute, but then you would get on stage, and I just like would lose it completely. Anyway, so I still, when I see him, it's still like, let me hear you say, "Hey, Guido."
All right. Well, we
now in LA, but at the beginning, but Eman was like, I don't want you to see me perform sometimes, and what if I bomb? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's not why I'm with you, you know.
Yeah.
And or why you're with me.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I could be friends or like date somebody who I don't think is funny.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, and now you've just given Jess a few more insecurities. It's
okay, all right, okay.
So when the writing process is, so Jess, you took Joey's course. Do you talk out your jokes more when you're writing, or do you type or pen and paper?
I used to at the very beginning, I wrote everything out. Now I do work some stuff out on stage. I guess I'm more of a computer person, like more of a typing. I like, loose ideas out. Then I keep a lot of stuff in my notes folder. And then I just sometimes go for it on stage. And
she's very brave. I've told her that before.
That sounds like a backhanded compliment. You're very brave. Was I funny though? No, you were very brave.
I've gotten a lot of braves. The going from a lot of comedy, so brave. Anyway, I haven't posed naked, but if I did, it'd be so brave, because women, if they're like 5 pounds overweight, not that I'm 5 pounds, it's more than that, but like, it's like, wow, so brave of that celebrity who still looks so thin and hot. No makeup. How is Alicia Keys not wearing makeup? So brave. She looks great anyways.
We did get a comment coming up. Guido was in Ford versus Ferrari.
I should have known that Claudio Capri might be familiar.
Italian to Montreal.
What?
We do love Guido. He's always been nice. Yeah.
Oh man, I did once post a picture on Instagram years ago with Guido Cocomello and Guido Grasso, and I was like, "Look, it's a Guido sandwich." And a few people were like, "That's pretty racist." And I was like, "Those are actually their names." I don't know what you're suggesting. Anyway, I miss those guys. I miss Montreal.
The good old days.
We might be back, Paul. We might be back.
I might have to go back to school and actually pursue politics after all.
Oh yeah, is that what you're?
Well, I mean, if live performance is not going to happen anymore.
No, because last week she was like ready to become a dermatologist.
I know, but then your friends made fun of me, and I don't know if it's possible.
My friends, your friends too. I told you how many years of school you would have.
I know. I just feel like
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh my God, it's so fun. I love gross skin stuff. But you know what it is? I watched Dr. Pimple Popper and I got grossed out. I followed them on Instagram. And some of the stuff is just way too big.
I mean, I can't forget it.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how these people have not seen like a professional before. Like how, like what is, if you've left it that long already? What's the impetus to go see that doctor?
Because it's not like here.
Yeah, I know we talked.
Oh, that's true.
No, it's a good question, and I assumed it's like health. It's lack of healthcare in the U.S. related.
So the show probably pays for them.
Yeah.
To go and
then we got sad. Then that just made it more sad. And then it was like, what? Now we're sad and this is gross. So what's?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, okay. Let's change back to. I'm trying to follow a format or a history. Women in comedy. When you were starting out, it was great. Okay, but what were the challenges that you felt that you were facing in doing so? Like,
Let's
like
see.
Iman, you were.
Harassment. Everybody hates you. I remember.
What? You don't like kissing Jimbo on the mouth?
Oh my God. I remember at the beginning between Jimbo and Jess and Lawrence, both just putting down my identity. Just don't start with the Arab stuff. It scares people off. Don't talk about women. Don't talk about, just stick to the, you know, fun, light stuff. Talk about differences between men and women and make sure that women look bad in the whole thing. Like, it was such a nightmare. They were both. I mean, and Jimbo was a tiny bit better than Jess and Lawrence. Jess and Lawrence full on, like when I would destroy an absolute, which I did many times, back when I had confidence before I met this one. But I mean, Jason would hate it when people would come up to me and like compliment my set, and he's like, I don't get it. I don't get what you like about her comedy. I mean, can you believe it? Anyway, he's such an asshole.
Yeah, but he kept booking you, so it's
barely, and he wanted to underpay me. I mean, it was always such a disaster.
I feel like I remember with Deanne, like she had like a late night TV credit and was still not getting headline there. You know, when she done what was his name? The
Craig
Scottish
Ferguson.
guy, yeah.
Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson, and it took her like so long, and she would destroy there.
Yeah,
and then and guys that were Guido, for example.
Hi, ladies.
No, but you also destroyed there. And,
no, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, with no TV credits or it's just, you have to work so much harder to get anywhere as a woman.
Jimbo also straight up told me,
audiences,
I'm going to be a lot harder on you because you're a woman and I don't think women are funny. Like, he said it straight up. I mean, that was a common thing, and I've always said that, and I still believe it, that comedy clubs are safe havens for white straight men. And hopefully that's changing slowly. I mean, we work at an amazing comedy club in New York.
There's some really good comedy clubs that have like trained audience where they're like, because it's a self-fulfilling thing, right? I won't do well in a certain place that is only there to see like a certain kind of comic, and so that comic will do well, and then the club will have them, but the people that would be interested and enjoy my comedy aren't going to that comedy club. So it's like and then you're like, well, maybe I should just do comedy outside of comedy clubs, because many people have built careers outside of them, and they're not necessarily the end all and be all that they once were. But because we started a while ago now, I do still like I still have a pull towards the comedy club and the challenges of performing in a more mainstream space and being still able to do like the jokes that I want to do, but make people laugh. And there's in when it's like a very mixed crowd that doesn't necessarily have all the same references, and like, but there's a couple of really great comedy clubs where they'll be like, where the audience is just used to seeing a bunch of different kinds of people go up, and they're just ready for anything. Whereas other clubs, you get up and you're like the only woman on the lineup, and you just could tell that the whole audience is like, ugh, this isn't going to be funny. Like, oh, we have
a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Let's go to the washroom.
It's just like you're starting from, in many cases, you're starting from a deficit still, like the assumption is like, they don't think you're going to be funny, and now you have to like really start strong and change their mind. Whereas someone else a man could walk on stage and,
hey ladies, no.
Let me hear you say. No, I really, the more I think about it, the more I haven't seen him in so long. But anyway, some people aren't starting in a hole, let's say.
Yeah, I used to run an open mic, and one of the things I tried to do was to have as many diverse voices to me. And it wasn't, I didn't intentionally say, oh, I need this many women on the show. Those comedians sound alike to me, so I want to try to have different people.
Yeah.
And it kind of blew me away one time when without paying attention, somebody went, wow, you only have one guy on the show. And I went, okay, yeah, but I still have 8 comics on the show. That's
right. Yeah, and
I love it. Was that the open mic you did at that Halifax bar? Remember, for a short while there was like a Halifax bar in Montreal called
Oh, the
2 or something.
it was the 902 comedy show, and it happened at Donair City or
Yeah.
Donair City. No, that was actually, that goes back even further to Kick Ash.
Right.
Kick Ash I loved, and I loved it too much because that's the famous time where I did Kick Ash, and I think I had I had a couple new jokes that went well there, and then the next night I had my JFL showcase, and Deanne and Eman, I was like, oh, do you think I should try some new jokes? And they're like, well, if that's what you're passionate about, go for it, and I did, based on how well and that joke had done one time at Kit Cash, I went on and full rookie mistake. Of course, you never do new material. I was year 3 of comedy or something, and it was also the 1 year it wasn't just Zoe at the auditions. It was all of the Just for Laughs establishment, including Robbie Pra, and I ate it so hard with completely unworked out, but that's because I had the best time at Kick Ass.
And we enjoyed your set so much. We're like, yeah, go for it. Yeah. Then we're watching her maybe we made a mistake.
She just didn't have, your confidence in that.
Definitely did not. Enough from Kick Ash to do those jokes the next night, but then no, not at the Comedy Nest. I mean, it was
I then at this point I will apologize for holding back your career.
But that's how good your show was. Yeah.
It was definitely fun. The Kick Ash had its the ending of that was kind of turned me off of doing an open mic again for a while, but yeah, Esther, I totally agree. That was bullshit. It was.
She wants your open mic back.
She's like, bring it back, Bob. Don't be turned up.
Esther's not the first one to say that to me. So it's all right. So what was the impetus for the move to the States, other than the fact that a lot of Canadian talent goes there because that's where money and exposure is, and we don't get recognized here? I think I'm sort of answering the question, but I want to hear your opinion, Eman, since you got the green card.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that we wanted to go to New York. Jess and I both love New York, and separately, it's a place that we both had a soft spot for and always visited. And then we visited together, and we knew that we wanted to move there. We knew, unfortunately, we had to leave Canada if we wanted to pursue stand-up comedy, and that's exactly what happened. Within the first year living in New York, I got my first Just for Laughs gala. I got Halifax Comedy Festival. Not that I hadn't gotten it before, but I mean, it was just leaving Canada made me so loved in Canada. I had all of the festivals in the same year. Winnipeg. I mean, everybody just
right. Yeah, it's even if nothing's really happened for you in the US, just the fact of moving makes it seem like you're literally going places.
Yeah.
I know on the festivals side of things, the festivals look at we want to be able to say 10 years down the road, hey, they've done this. And if we're making a TV show, they want to be able to say this person's going somewhere. So they want to see some commitment to the career of. Yeah. And as a Canadian, to make the effort to move to the States kind of shows that.
It is like a level.
Shows that you're serious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And everything.
I hadn't even thought about it that way. It does show a commitment to comedy. But I mean, there's all of that part. There's the part that we just really love New York, and honestly, really it does make you a better comic. That at the end of the day, it just being around that, having that much stage time when you get to a place where you are getting on, decent stages regularly, and just seeing so much comedy and being around people that are doing so much and writing so much and stand up and other things, and being on lineups where people are on our correspondents on the Daily Show or on SNL or whatever. It just pushes. If you're driven by fear as a motivator, which I am, rather than self-motivation, it helps to be terrified as a way to push myself forward.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if you guys can hear this right now. Maybe, I guess, because I should have notified the neighbors that I'm doing this. They're vacuuming above me, so I don't know if it's being picked up on the mic.
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Esther is so afraid of the vacuum, though. So that would be hilarious. She doesn't hear.
All right. So yes, the vacuum podcast is still continuing. I have a number of friends who live in Brooklyn, but one of them has been live streaming when he goes out for the protests, it's again, that's the bail funds are important. Are you worried about your apartment in New York right now? Is like
Not really. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're like, our apartment's in a building. We are right near the Manhattan Bridge where everybody was trapped. Like, was it last night or the night before? Yeah, a lot of friends on my Instagram are, well, some of them were trapped on the bridge because people went on the Manhattan Bridge and then they didn't let them off into Manhattan. So like both the ends of and then they blocked the way back to Brooklyn. So everybody was trapped on the Manhattan Bridge. It was like a few thousand people, and it was at least a couple of hours. And of course, knowing everything that's going on, it's so scary because you're just sitting ducks for tear gas, rubber bullets, whatever. You're on a bridge and there's no bathroom, there's no access to anything. And even like it was pretty packed. So it's not like there's tons of room to just like sit down or rest or anyway. There were enough people raising a huge storm on Twitter, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was like, I'm going down there right now. This is insane. And then they like let them off the bridge basically back into Brooklyn.
God bless her.
But you know what? God bless her. AOC, yeah.
And yeah, worst case, anything happens to the apartment. I mean, it's material things. So like.
Actually, since we're talking about New York so much, I just kind of I want to bring this up into it.
Yeah, look how beautiful.
This is your website. So the El-Salomons, a love story. So there's I'm just gonna try to get my my stuff out of there so everyone can see it fully. There we are. So yeah, that's it's a very simple. Did you guys do the website yourselves, or did you have?
I had someone help me with the website, a comic in New York that does that on the side, and then I update it. I mean, that's kind
of course our illustrator.
So our illustrator, Jesse Brown, he lives in London. He drew that image, and then all of our cartoons that are viewable there, but they're also on Instagram. If the cartoons on Instagram feed onto the front page of the website, which is theelsalomons.com or at the El-Salomons on Instagram. And he's so talented. So we've been working with him it's been a couple of years now that we've been posting little cartoon vignettes of our life, our interactions with each other, our interactions with the world. And
thank you, Claudio.
We'll pass the message along to Jesse. We're hoping to, this, as you said, this is like during quarantine. It's been other than being consumed with the news in the last week or so. How long has it been? And trying to be as active online as possible, given that we are so far away from everything. With the protests, with some with sending emails, with donating money and all that. What was it? Where was I going with this?
It's the fact that because
I lost track of everything. During quarantine, like the idea is that we haven't been able to do that much stand up, so we're trying to do the projects that we haven't had time to do. And one of those things is hopefully putting together a proposal for a graphic novel with Jesse. Yeah.
Very nice. Do you think you would go to Kickstarter or something for the funding on that, or?
I mean, I hope that we'll get. We have a lit agent. So we're just trying to put together the proposal, and hopefully she'll be able to find a publisher. Yeah.
Okay. Which is smart. I know that a lot of projects go to Instagram, even with like named people. And I would find like the El-Salomons, the Jesse's artwork would definitely fit in there. And I love the little like vignettes from your guys' lives. It's been hilarious to read. I know that it was very difficult for you guys to actually make the decision to leave New York when the quarantine was happening. This is well before George Floyd or anything. Do you want to kind of talk about that process?
I mean, I'll let Jess take that over, because I did not care to leave America.
We do need to plug the computer in. Do you want to get the cord?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you tell him about your...
Okay. Well, no, I was... I look, it took me a little bit before I committed to leaving, because I very much had the New York attitude for, I don't know, a good part of March, where I was like, of course, New York is the epicenter of the pandemic. It's the epicenter of everything, So, and it's the idea of leaving and not being just like close to the bodega with everything. It's not like people like I was seeing so much news of people hoarding toilet paper, and that was there goes Eman. That wasn't a problem in New York because no one really has a car, so people were just going to the store and getting what they needed, and there wasn't this whole hoarding thing. So all of these things, I was like, forget it. No, we're definitely staying here. And then it's just like, as the political situation around the pandemic got so much crazier, as everything does with Donald Trump, and Cuomo was begging for ventilators, and the idea that if we got COVID, and it was around everywhere, including in our building. Is that a bug?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, we could potentially just not even be able to be treated. So I think that was a deciding factor.
I was just like, we're so lucky we're Canadian. Let's get the hell out of here. I had zero.
I was very emotional. And
you
were
not.
I
was not. I was so happy to leave. I was relieved that I'm Canadian. And when we got here, I fell sound asleep right away, but I woke up to her a couple of hours later crying, updating her Facebook status about leaving New York and how sad she was.
I was, that's what social media is for you. Unload there and then unload on your wife.
I know. So she unloads on me, wakes me up from a deep sleep that was so peaceful.
Well, not on purpose. I just was crying.
And she's crying. She feeds me all of her worries, feels relieved, passes out, and now I'm up for 4 hours worried about the future.
That sounds like it's there's going to be a couple El-Salomons panels on that one. There's so okay, you have mentioned, and I'm glad that you are both here. I'm glad that you're both safe. I mean, you're not in Montreal. Montreal is the 7th worst hit city for COVID deaths in the world.
I know. We went from epicenter to epicenter practically. Yeah, that's why
I like to be at the hot spot.
We thought about going to Montreal, but I'm like, once we're leaving our place and we're renting something, it doesn't make sense to go and be in another city that has a lot of COVID. Why would we? Yeah. So we've been in the woods.
But you have the graphic novel idea in the works. You did an online show last night. Are you doing much in the line of online performances, or?
We've been doing quite a bit, but this week a lot of shows got canceled because of what's going on.
Yes.
It makes complete sense, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been I'm really impressed with people being super creative and putting on shows. I have zero motivation to do comedy, but a lot of people are still out there putting on shows and
I've
stuff.
been doing other people's shows
that
have asked, and it's been really fun. I did a set for New York Comedy Club. Had a Zoom show the other night. That was my first club spot, I guess, on Zoom. Otherwise, other people's Instagram lives and stuff. We are doing a show.
I'm doing one tonight.
Eman's doing one tonight.
All the donations go to George Floyd
Memorial Fund.
Yes.
I'm actually I know that the memorial was happening as we're doing this, but I booked in advance. So some people may be watching this on repeat later. Again, please donate in the name of George Floyd. And Eman is actually putting her art out there for people to raise money for the memory of George Floyd and the political actions that are happening in the wake of his death. Again, it's pretty solemn about a time for comedy. The reason I've not canceled this show or the other shows that I'm doing is because there is the fatigue that is coming in from being constantly. I'd like to give a distraction, but at the same time a reminder to people. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I hope it does. And in working to go forward, I really think that we do need political change, not just in the States, but in Canada. I think that we need social change as well. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we can't have laughter, because if we don't, then it's going to be exhausting. We need these little breaks to sort of recharge and go back out there and fight the good fight. So it's a good thing that you're doing the show tonight. I'm very happy that the two of you are here. And that was way too serious.
Where's the guy that tells us when it's awkward?
Where did you go?
Claudio? Is it so awkward? He's already like checked out. I love that guy. Ladies, let me hear you say, "Hey, Claudio." No, yeah, we do have a show on June 11th. Listen, if you follow us on Instagram or on Twitter, we do. I haven't been promoting a lot of stuff, but June 11th we're on a show that also raises money for it. But this was pre everything. But anyways, it's for an immigration and refugee organization in San Francisco. So
to make sure to keep the immigrants out. Imagine.
Once we got our green cards, we were like, no one else.
We got through this entire interview without mentioning what Jess did beforehand, before comedy.
And what she did beforehand and what she got to do since we moved to America.
Which is?
You used to be a war crimes lawyer.
Yes.
And now you are Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show alum.
Oh, yeah.
Can you say that? Alum?
I didn't realize that Jess had a speech impediment.
No, we can. Eman sometimes surprises me with her choice of vocabulary and the words I've never heard her say, like alum.
English is her third language.
I know. She likes to flex that.
But you say alum for short, no?
Yes. A person is a
totally.
Alumni is the group.
Yeah.
Alum is an individual.
Okay.
I think my Latin is a little rusty. I haven't.
Up to you two to debate.
So, all of us have red hair right now, so you can't blame it on that.
Redheads have less fun. No, what do they say about redheads?
We
get angry a lot.
Oh yeah, well,
and I think that's why we're caught smiling so often, is because people.
Oh my God, such a good point.
People assume that we're just got to go off at any minute, so we have to sort of disarm that a little.
I mean, yeah, I smile all the time. No man has ever told me I should smile more. I'm already doing it, and I don't know. I feel like it's not because I'm happy. I think it's just it's the way
defense mechanism.
It's just it's like I'm afraid.
I mean, you had a guy write to you in your DMs.
Yeah.
That you have an inviting smile, and I'm like, yeah, totally. I always say that she has like a resting go down on your face.
Okay.
It's a little too inviting. Yeah.
I shaved my head once, and it was not a good look.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to do that. So I've been wanting to do that so badly in quarantine.
Shave my head? What? Oh, shave your own. Okay.
I will risk COVID to come there and shave your head for you. Yeah.
I live with somebody who's immunosuppressed, so I've had to be extra careful on everything. So contact, etc. So you guys, I'm remarried. And I don't live with my wife. That's one thing that happens. I'm doing shared custody. I'll do 2 weeks here where I have all my crap, and then I have 2 weeks at my new wife's place with her and her two daughters.
Oh, that's a good arrangement.
Yeah, I'm still friends with my ex-wife. You know,
I remember her. What was her name?
Zaytun, because I married a Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah, it means olive.
Zaytun means olive.
Yep. And I'm 7 generations of sailor, so I guess Paul means Popeye. There's
Oh,
and it didn't work out.
That's so.
No,
you
guys
just
were
broke
too-
her heart.
Yeah, no, you guys had a good run. You were together a long time.
yeah, we're friends. It's just she really didn't like me performing. She didn't like me being out nights or etc. So
Oh, yeah, honestly, look, I get it. I don't know how anyone would be with a
comic. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that 2 comics can be together because I've
that too. You know what?
We were surprised at the beginning
yeah.
until we moved to New York. Actually,
both scenarios seemed like a nightmare.
Yeah. But being in New York made us realize that it's so good that we're both comedians because we just understand exactly what the other one is going through. If you have a low point, if you have a high point, like nobody's going to understand you like another comedian would.
Well, yeah, it helps that we're not competitive with each other and that we're both so different.
Yeah, you're stylistically very different, which is
that's why it's hard to be competitive. It's not like we would be up for.
Well, we look so different.
We look so different. We are very different. Yeah.
When we got to New York, I was very much like, let's do our own thing. And
she thinks I'm too bitchy.
Eman is bitchy and not, I wanted to make friends. And she didn't, she usually doesn't like to. And then when we got there, suddenly this one is like such a social butterfly. Invited to like all the cool parties. And I was like, forget what I said. Forget it. Did you do it +1? Did you tell them you're married?
You're probably the most talented coattail rider I've ever met, Jess. So, and Eman, you're a fantastic talent. Both of you are fantastic talents. I'm glad for both of your successes and your group success as well. Hasn't been any more questions coming in. This is only a half-hour show, but I don't know with the 2 of you. We're approaching. We're just hit 57 minutes. So this has been a lot of fun. I know that you guys had to run and get the charger. And Esther is used to the sound of my voice in your apartment at this point.
She's doing her own thing.
You got her relaxed, I got to tell you.
Yeah, I have to do some ASMR videos just to have people chill out on my voice. There is... Is there any final thoughts that you guys would like to give in this time? Some of them are pretty hot. I don't know. Like Montreal, they get the bulletproof bustier. It's sorry.
I have hooked up with a cop before.
I hooked up with a Republican.
Ew.
Somebody, oh my God. And it was like a one-night stand. It was like over a weekend. It wasn't a one-night stand. It was a weekend fling. And the next morning after we did it, we woke up, we're having watermelon. That's all I had to offer for breakfast, watermelon and coffee. And he asked me where I was from and was shocked that I was Middle Eastern. And then he told me that he voted for George Bush. And we were just sitting awkwardly on the couch like, you're an Arab? You're Muslim? What? You voted for George W. Bush? Get out of my apartment.
I want the watermelon back.
Yeah.
That could have been a duo act.
Me and him. I mean, it was good.
Okay.
It was a fun one. Yeah. Never mind. Tell us about your cop.
The cop I hooked up with was in law school. He was sometimes the cops would come to take some law classes, I guess, and criminal law classes. And he was Indian Canadian, like Indian from India, or his parents, anyways. Would you say Indian Canadian? No.
Yeah.
He wasn't white, and
sounds like you're the cop, actually, right now.
Yeah, and I'm just
profiling. A little profiling.
This makes it any better or worse. But the main thing about he's very attractive, and when we hooked up, he had no hair on his genitals, like zero. And I was like, I didn't expect that from a cop for some reason, that they'd be super like waxed.
Was he a swimmer also?
No.
Oh.
that was the whole thing. And I was like, damn, I felt like I should have gone to see the waxing lady. Like I was,
it was this
manicured.
I'm not to be judgmental or anything. Was this summertime?
It was like, you know what? It was very much end of the school year. So like,
yeah, close to summertime.
May,
spring.
Okay.
Spring has.
Right.
It was like, because it was right after final exams. Because after exams, you have like, there was, I just remember, I mean, I don't know if this is a general thing, but that last exam, there's like the end of exam debauchery party, and you have kind of carte blanche to hook up with anyone, you know.
This is the last time you're going to see them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to go for this cop.
I mean, you went for a cop. I'm not even your first brown person. I'm not your first woman. I'm not your first Muslim.
No.
I'm her first everything. She's my first everything. And I'm not your first anything.
No, well, you are her first marriage partner.
I haven't first wife.
Yeah, and that is also the key is to be the last. So if you guys can keep that up, that's got to be beautiful. When it comes to
if we get a divorce, we're going to be in the closet about our divorce. I think at this point,
because it'll hurt the career.
Keep the business going.
It's all about that branding. Got to keep that branding. We're gonna do the branding. But it was a fantastic chance to chat with the two of you. I am so glad that you do have plans. No one knows really when clubs are going to be opening up. I know Ricky Bronson has reopened the comic strip in Edmonton. I always try to say Calgary, and then I realize no, that's bad. It's wrong. So in Edmonton, he's reopening the comic strip at 25% capacity. But I'm really hoping that we don't get a second wave. Even when things do reopen, I'm not sure if I'm going to be out on the front lines right away. What about you guys? Are you interested?
I think we have to be so careful. I don't know why people are in such a rush to go back to just socializing and being in close distances to each other. I feel like we have to be extra cautious, and that there is going to be a second wave. I mean, everybody talks about Sweden being such an amazing example for not shutting down the country, and they've had such high death rates. So just be careful and be clean and embrace Sharia law. Ultimately, that's what people have to do. Just wash yourself, cover yourself, and overtip your Uber driver because he was probably a doctor in his country. So that's my advice.
All right, I'm Paul Ash. This is They Talk Funny, and the they in this question is Jess Salomon, Eman El-Husseini. And I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Don't give me that face. So thank you very much for coming on. Check out if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell. There's a lot of content that comes out on this channel, and please follow on Instagram the El-Salomons, or individually just put it up on screen so you can freeze it to look at it. It's Jess_Salomon and Eman_El_Husseini. It's been a pleasure to see you guys. Thank you very much.
Watch her Fallon set.
Oh yeah, okay.
When's it air?
Oh no, it's just on YouTube. It already aired like a year ago.
Okay, so watch that on YouTube. Thank you very much, and we are